Hello everyone, welcome back to Positive Vibes Only. Now last video I talked about being patient, not rushing, keeping in mind that the grass is never ever greener on the other side. The grass is greenest where you water it. And I want to talk about patience a little bit deeper in the concept of everything that happens for a reason is to prepare you. So that preparation point is the key to what is going to lead you to be successful or to achieve your goals, whatever they may be. So a lot of times we always think, well, why isn't this happening? Why not me? I deserve this. I've studied. I've taken every test. I've gone to every class. I've done this, this, and this, so why isn't this happening? But that's not really the way that life works. It's not a linear thing. You can't do A, B, and C, and now D happens just because all that happened. It's not a timeline that works in that order. It's not always so specific. Sometimes you may take 2 steps forward and take a step back, or vice versa. And we have to understand that we are constantly preparing for what we want to achieve in life. So whatever your goal is, whether it's a career, whether it's financial, whether it's to get married, whatever it may be, everything you're doing is preparing you for that. And sometimes when we think we're ready, why am I still single? I'm 30 plus years old. Why do I still not have a husband or wife? Why do I still not have kids or a home of my own? But we have to remember that things happen in the time that it's supposed to happen. So even though you may physically be ready or mentally be ready, you may not financially be ready. Even though you may be financially ready, maybe there is some other aspect in your life that's not there yet. And I truly believe that when we step into that stage, the next stage of whatever it is that we're trying to achieve, that we will be ready for it and not set up for failure. And a lot of times it may even be something, and I've heard this message by T.D. Jakes, who I love all of his sermons and everything he does. And he said, sometimes you may actually be ready, but maybe your spouse isn't ready, maybe your kids aren't ready, maybe someone around you isn't ready for you to make that step. And again, when we step into something, we want to step into it ready to go, to hit the ground running. You don't want to step into that next job and fail. You don't want to get into that university that dream college that you're applying for and fail. You want to step into it and know that you've done all the work you can and you've prepared in every single aspect of your life to get there and succeed. So sometimes when we may think we're ready, the reason it hasn't happened yet is because you're actually not ready. Or sometimes we may think that we're ready, and the reason it hasn't happened yet is because you're not ready for everything that next step entails. So a job, for instance, when you step into a new job, you may have the requirements, you may have the education, but you may not be ready for the adversity that comes with it or the pressure that comes with it. So in my job, reporting, for instance, there's a lot of negativity that comes with being a reporter because you have people constantly critiquing you. And so I know for me personally, maybe I am ready for all the requirements. I've checked off every box on the job application, so to speak, but maybe I'm not ready for that criticism. Or maybe I'm not ready to be in that stage and on that spotlight because of another reason. You don't ever know what the reason is. That's the hard part, but that's the exciting part, because you just have to keep working at something. You have to keep preparing with every single day so that when you do get to that moment, so for me, when I do become that big time sports reporter that I want to be, I'm ready for it. And that's why a lot of times we get discouraged because we're like, well, I've done A, B, and C, so why isn't D happening? And then you see people starting to get frustrated. Then you see, maybe you take a step back and you stop focusing on getting to that challenge and you start letting other things distract you. And those distractions might be the exact reason why you're not there yet. Because if you really believe and care about something wholeheartedly, nothing will distract you. Nothing will discourage you from getting there. And I know for me personally, I am such an ambitious, hungry person. If I want something, I'm gonna do all I can until I get there, because that's how I am. But not everybody is that way. Some people are easily distracted by the adversity, and it might be that adversity that's actually strengthening you and making you a better person for that challenge. So there are 2 ways it can go. You get faced with a challenge, you get discouraged, you step away, you back down. And that just shows you were never ready for that stage. If I was someone that the first time, because this has already happened, of course this naturally happens, the first time somebody said something negative to me in a comment or on social media, if I was to cry and get depressed and get angry, that means I'm not ready to ever be that big time sports reporter or anchor, right? Plain and simple. But because I was able to take it in stride and understand, you know what, for all the good feedback I get, there are going to be some people with the Twitter pages that have no picture and no name that will troll through my Twitter page and constantly find things to critique. I understand that and I'm ready for it. And that's how you have to be. You have to understand with the good comes bad, And with every step forward you take, there is always going to be even more pressure on you. When you become boss of a company versus just an employee, although you make more money, although you're at a higher seat at the table, that means you have even more pressure on you. It doesn't get easier as you climb up, it gets harder. So when that adversity does come, when that struggle does come, or that step back, you think, why is this happening? It's because that means you're getting closer to your destiny. That means you're getting a step closer to reaching your goals. So we have to get out of the mindset that, why is this happening to me? Woe is me. Life is so depressing and upsetting. And understand that with every single bad thing, every pain, every adversity, everybody that discourages you, anytime somebody comes into your life and maybe they mistreat you, talk badly about you, whatever the case may be, it's actually a test to see if you are ready for that goal. It's actually a test to see how strong you really are mentally, and to understand that you're going to face a lot of bad people in your life or a lot of bad situations. You cannot get discouraged and want to run and hide every time it happens. You have to be willing to step up to the plate, face it, and move on, period. So my advice to you is, when something happens to you this week, start by just changing how you think about it. Instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? Understand this is happening to you for a reason, and what is the lesson that you can get out of it? How can I be stronger from this? How can I learn from this so it doesn't happen again? How can I take this negative feedback or this just unfortunate situation and learn from it so it never happens again, and so that moving forward I don't have to deal with this problem, or I don't have to deal with this person, or understanding that coworker that smiles in your face and then behind your back is constantly does not have your best interest at all. All right, you learn from it, you move forward. That classmate of yours that, again, maybe acts like they're your best friend, but behind your back they're talking about you to other classmates. Now you know, moving forward, anytime you see that person, how to deal with them. You keep it cordial, you keep it moving. But I do firmly believe that in life we see a cycle of the same types of people and the same types of situations, just on different levels. So a teammate that was a bad teammate in X sport, you'll see them again in your job force with a different name and a different face, but they'll be the same type of person. Or that coach that you felt like just hated you, you will see a similar situation when you get to a job and you have a boss that you just don't understand. Why don't they like me? What did I do? That's everything prepares you for something else. So understand what it is that this lesson is about, learn from it, and move forward. So this week the challenge is, you change your attitude, you change your perspective. When something bad happens, realize it's because it's only preparing you for your blessing. It's only preparing you for that next stage of life. Be ready, be prepared in all aspects, and kill it. Good luck.